So this is kind of weird. The ground loop isolator is roughly the same temperature it was in test setup 1, but that is noticeably, massively less warm than it was earlier. We're only at 5 minutes though. I'll try fucking with the ground loop isolator after too. We'll give it 10. See, this again suggests that what's happening for me, this is more evidence, even though we're not getting any problem right now, this is more evidence for something happening with the ground loop isolator in this stream earlier this morning, where it started running hot and no longer doing its job. Am I on the same USB as I started at? I am on the USB I started at this morning, correct? Not the one I swapped to. I'm back on that one. I'm keeping the USB consistent for all of these tests right now, which is the USB I started with this morning. Yeah, that's my working theory too, Sinistral. But the problem is it's really easy to make working theories off just a couple points of data, and then I want to duplicate the fucking problem. If we find that after 10 minutes still no problem, and then I unplug it, redo this test on these same settings, no problem, and then I unplug it, redo these tests on the same settings, and the fucking thing heats up. Is it just hanging off something? Yeah, it just hangs out. It's a small little dangle, which is about that long. It comes out of the USB. It just basically it's almost like if you had a USB splitter or something. It's about that length, like a plug-in USB splitter or something. I feel like I do an inordinate amount of troubleshooting relative to other people. I don't know if it's just if it's something I'm doing, but it feels like Murphy pays an extra bit of special attention to me. There's now static in the background. That's interesting. Is that a change, Kermel? Can other people hear the static now? I think Nobu was 9. Oh, I gave up looking at shit. I forgot. I was still trying to look at that. So I think Nobu came in at 9 minutes on the stream. I think. I was just trying to figure that out. Where the fuck is the stupid mod view? I just want to link to mod view. Where the fuck is mod view from this? All right. Do I have mods in chat right now? No. This isn't troubleshooting. It's a weird Battle Brothers Duelist build. You're not wrong. This is about what it takes to get Battle Brothers Duelist to work. All right, we're at 9 minutes, 37 seconds. I'll check the temperature of the ground loop isolator in about 30 seconds here. Playing streamer on hard mode. It does feel like that sometimes. Why do I have such a complicated mic setup? Because this is nearly the most basic. So the very basic mic setup is basically headphone mic, right? It goes, in terms of quality, it goes webcam mic, which is absolute dog shit quality, but has no setup at all. Then it goes headset mic, which is very slightly better quality. And if you remember, I started streaming on a headset mic. And then I upgraded to this setup here, because this was essentially, I mean, this is like, I think this is about $150 or $100 when I bought it. The mic's about $300, right? So you drop about $500 into your, from like a headset mic, which is probably like $90, right? Maybe less, maybe $50, you get a real cheap headset, right? So you go from a $50 setup to a $500 setup. And then this $500 setup here essentially didn't have enough volume. If you guys remember, for years, the common complaint people coming into my channel was, you're too quiet. Can you turn yourself up? And there wasn't, I was maxed on all my gains. So I couldn't turn myself up. So then this is the next setup, which was a combination of two things, right? The PreSonus box is powerful enough to run the Cloud Lifter. The Cloud Lifter gives me more gain. So that's why to go to the next setup. Voice meter is a software element, not a hardware element. It does. I actually bought voice meter. I think you can get a freeware version of it too. I bought it because I wanted the extra features and I wanted to support the company too, quite honestly. But voice meter lets me do things like split up audio streams. So I can do things like keep desktop separate from Discord, separate from music on YouTube, separate from whatever else I want. It's getting louder in noise. See, this is really helpful because I, at home on my own, probably would have done this in like a minute, not like a 10-minute sit. Let me go touch the ground loop isolator and see what it's doing. We're at 10 minutes, 11:45 right now. Minutes. That's hard to tell. It's either the same temperature or marginally hotter. It feels warmer than it was, but it's really hard to tell like from one sensory input to another across time if there's a small degree of change, right? The body's really good at telling changes immediately, but it's not so good at changing like that. So it maybe is hotter. Maybe. It's not as hot as it was when earlier today, though. It was definitely hotter this morning. No, it's not. It's nowhere near uncomfortable. Right now, it's still barely above room temperature. So room temperature is like I touch it and I can't tell the difference from the air around it, right? Slightly warmer than room temperature, which is this one. I can tell it's warm, but only if I like concentrate on it for a second and go, okay, yeah, it's definitely warmer than the air around it, kind of deal. Or warmer than whatever, like touching. If I touch like a piece of plastic that's just sitting there, I expect it to be some temperature. Touching it was warmer than that. Now it's warmer than it was. I didn't find Nobu's timestamp because I gave up looking for the mod view. But this is still no way near what it was before. Earlier today, it was hot. Like if I touch my, let me compare it. I don't. What do I compare it to? Like it's a heat reading. I guess I could go like turn on the stove at various degrees. Earlier today, you know when your phone runs hot, like you're running an app too long or something that's dry, and your phone is like hot to the touch, like not like it's gonna burn you hot, but like a pizza box hot. Like that earlier today. Do I see tough to tell, One Heart. I'd have to start doing things like counting. So I'll show you what I see for voice meter. Hold on. So this is voice meter. So that's what voice meter looks like. So when I'm not talking, watch the bar on the left. To get a comparison of the noise floor, basically what I need to do is track how many of those pixels are colored in and then compare it. I didn't do that earlier. So we're sitting at about 7 right now, right? No, closer to 10. Is the bar of units associated with it? Not that I know. It's a complicated program. It might very well, but I don't know. This is dB, supposedly, when I move this around, which I don't want to be doing right now, by the way. But I don't know what the individual spacings are. All right, how long are we going to leave? I think at 20 minutes, we're at 16 right now. At 20 minutes, I'm going to pull this setup to check the ground loop again. So again, it's interesting that static is going up over time. Why would static go up over time? Heat, right? but it could be heat in any of the components. So what do we start doing then to do that? You guys don't hear noise right now? If I talk like this, do you guys hear static? I'll just talk for a couple seconds, tell you a nice story about something. Well, Filthy was born a young man. From there, it all went downhill. God punished him for his previous transgressions in a different life. Chat was just along for the ride, enjoying every moment. Do we hear static? I have polling tools. I do have polling tools. I guess, yeah, we could pull it up. The problem is how long, when and how long, and they're not particularly good at like moment to moment. I mean, we'll do it in a second. Okay. Is there, I guess I'll ask, is there static now? Sure. All right. Polling tool it is. All right, chat, but I have to keep talking when we're doing this. So it's tough to say. I don't care if it's noticeable or not, right? The issue isn't is it noticeable or not. It's that we weren't getting it before and are getting it now. So that means something has changed. And I'm not sure what's changed necessarily. So poetry reading stream. Sure, we could do that as a test. It would be nice to test the same thing each time, right? Because it would get the same emphasis on like sounds. Do we have a test poem? I don't have any... well, let me double check. I normally do run settings, but they're both off right now. Noise gate and noise suppression are both off right now. So I don't think we're going to be doing a singing stream. You hear noise from the background, but no static. What do you hear? Did you just hear the CPU fan? Like, here, let me do this without trying to kill you guys. Let's see if we can figure out what you guys are hearing. It would be nice to know too. All right, you ready? So what do you guys hear background wise? Because this is another game, by the way. This is a software game. When I up it, do you guys hear more CPU fan in the background? The fact this doesn't change in height is a bit dubious. Right? This is what it was showing at the same level of gain previously. Yeah, it should be a low whine. That's what the CPU sounds like. I wonder if I could turn the fan up, stress the CPU. I'm not sure if I can physically, I don't know if I can manually fuck with the CPU fan. I think I can. I wonder if I could up it up, ramp it up to see. Is there a way to easily reset this, chat? Like, I want this to go to 0 and I don't want it to be orange. Yes. What was I gonna look for? All right, so did we hear static or not? I guess that's a good question. Two votes, no static. Fuck me, I fucking hate audio testing. Forget everything I said earlier. It's starting to stress me out again. All right, let me go check the heat. It's at 20 minutes. I'm gonna check the ground loop isolator heat. Fuck, it's so hard to compare that. It's warmer than when it started. It's cooler than when it failed this morning. And I'm not sure how it compared to the last test. Is Nobu a variable? I wanted to make some joke about variable there, but missed it. So no. How long was the PC on for this morning? A couple hours. How do you answer the poll? Just type a number in chat. Do you guys not see the poll? You might not see the poll. I might have blocked it. I blocked it. That's why. Let me fix that. Okay. I guess my next question is this then. Is my amp on during the pre-stream? Yes. It's the amp doesn't, I don't turn the amp off. The amp doesn't turn off. There's not an application using the mic during that time period, but it does just sit in the background on. There's not an on off on the PreSonus box. There's just it's just literally power. 2 hours of heat versus 10 minutes. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you look at it that way, what do you think? You think unplugging it resets heat? So you think that the test isn't fair? Do we normally have static in longer streams compared to shorter streams? I'm not sure we've seen that issue. If you look at it that way, it's probably like 4 hours of heat compared to 10 minutes. Yeah, doesn't help though. I mean, what it helps and doesn't help, right? It doesn't let us answer this. Leave this and move on. Okay. So what else do we want to run? Do we want to try it without the because the problem is this, right? The problem is we're not hearing static on this line. The issue that we're changing this setup for is static on the line. The reason why we're starting these tests, right? So if we can't duplicate the problem, what the fuck do we do? Go back to streaming game with the intent of rapidly responding to this. Cry a little. I'm out of tears at the moment. I've been crying for years about audio issues. How dusty is my motherboard? Low to medium, maybe? I haven't blown it out in a while. Are you asking if the motherboard dust, you're saying the motherboard dust is a personal question, or you're about to ask a personal question, McFeagle? What do I want to do with the setups? Take over the world, of course. Oh, it's easy to bring, because the overlap in these setups is like 99% or something, or 95%, right? The only thing I'd have to bring extra is this one, and I will bring it now, just because I don't want to be in the issue where I'm down at my parents' place and suddenly this fucking normal setup dies and I don't have access to this. Any part of the signal flow be isolated? I don't know what you mean when you say signal flow there. Probably not, right? This is a direct connection, USB to ground loop isolator, audio box to cloud lifter. There's no like secondary set of wires. I mean, I can pull individual parts of this out of that loop, which works. I think my USB malfunction. That's interesting. Well, how do we tell if we've done permanent damage to the ground loop isolator then? Oh, I see. Asking a person about the cleanliness of their PC seems personal. Not too worried about it. Seen the new game Humankind? I haven't played it yet. Thoughts will be more when I play it. Yeah, no, I understand that if the USB... I don't know if you heard my question, One Heart, One Mind. I guess the question I'm asking is, let's say the USB malfunctioned this morning for some reason, possibly dust related on the motherboard, and it heated the ground loop up. You were telling me earlier that certain components, once they reach a certain point, could be damaged, but we have no way then essentially of knowing if the ground loop was damaged permanently or not, right? Thank you, Sarah Safi, for the 23 months. Welcome back. All right. So are we done troubleshooting for now then? Sadly. Because we can't duplicate it. I mean, some of you guys are telling me I'm staticky now and some aren't. Am I staticky now or no? Yeah, no, I saw your explanation for that earlier, One Heart, One Mind. I heard your explanation too. Something expands and basically won't go back to its normal size because it expanded too much and damaged itself during the expansion. So I guess what I'm wondering is how do so we have now an unknown component. We have an unknown state of the ground loop, right? Could be damaged, might not be. You hear static at noise floor at max volume. That doesn't compete with my voice when I speak. Are you always going to have some level of static, or do you get actual clear lines sometimes? It could be a fucking Twitch like codec issue too, right? Yeah. Okay, let's do this then. Why don't you guys try to remind me in an hour, and what we'll do is we'll switch over to the game, play some game. In an hour, I'll check the heat coming off the ground loop isolator. And I'll save this as a Google Doc for future troubleshooting if we need to. And we'll cross our fingers that whatever audio pixie showed up today and shit all over my setup is done defecating on it, and we can move on. I will post-stream blow out the motherboard in case there was a USB problem based on some dust in there, which seems unlikely, but it's possible. And other than that, I hope it just doesn't come back, which seems to be the only thing to fucking do with intermittent issues until they become so problematic you have to deal with them. Anyone think of a better outcome? Thoughts and prayers? Yeah. Yes, we can put our hopes in an at best absent and at worst hostile entity that has never expressed any actual interest in our positive outcomes. Seems bold. Seems real bold. All right. Perfect. Well, I mean, it's a good start to a stream. Oh, man. Thank you guys for the help. Much appreciated. Honestly, we've had more catastrophic outputs or more catastrophic issues on stream before. It's the illusion of control to some degree. It's comfort. Whether or not it's actually control seems unlikely. I guess you control your own emotions with the illusion of control. All right. So what do I need to do for this? Let me just save this. I think it was a good suggestion, by the way, to move that to a spreadsheet from Paint. I was just doing Paint to kind of illustrate to you guys the steps so you could see, but I think that was easier to manipulate for sure. All right, let me get a couple things going here. Get the old setup off this table. Make sure the ground loop isolator isn't red hot. It's definitely warmer than it was a minute ago. But I honestly don't know how hot it normally runs. I don't normally spend most of my time gripping each of my PC components in turn and guessing their heat level, which I guess I could change about my life. Might be a personal failing. All right, let's see about this green screen, which we haven't addressed yet. We'll re-add. Where's my... Oh, I don't need voice meter as a image for you guys on stream. Let's take a look at the mic. I'll re-add the noise gate and sound suppression as filters. Did I say fucking default? No, thank God. Okay. All right. Filters there. Right. Then we need webcam. All right. Whatever I just did, noise is gone. It's not. What I just did is added a noise gate, so the noise will return when I speak. Non-contact thermometer. Yeah, but I was making a joke about randomly going around and testing the heat of my components. I wasn't thinking I would actually want to do that. No noise when I speak. All right, we'll test that then, because 2 filters I just turned on, right? The first is sound suppression, the second is noise gating. I'll turn the noise gating off, the noise suppression on. All right, so what happened? Is it still good or is it different? Do we need to do all 3? All right, hold on. Never not troubleshooting, it's fine. All right. That's not quite true, so let me fix that before you guys say anything. All right, no filters. Okay. So noise when I speak, noise when I don't speak, no noise ever, all noise all the time. A mythical being has blessed us with pixies who shit on our sound, or what? Oh, I know, Calric. Every time I move my setup, I reset like 12 different variables. It's fucking painful. Better to troubleshoot? No. There's no reason to troubleshoot now because we're going to reintroduce a whole bunch of shit in there. You hear it. All noise all the time, but low like a noise floor. Okay. All right. Let's change the filters up. This is noise suppression on, but no noise gate. And okay. Suppression is 2 P's, 2 S's, right? Is it single P? Nope. It's 2 P's, 2 S's. Okay. Know my equipment. Equipment is inherently unknowable. Yeah, mech bay would be great. There is a weird hum in the mech bay. So if I play mech bay only as my primary and singular game, chat will be unable to tell if I'm having audio issues or not. Okay. All right. Final setting, the setting I normally stream on. You guys ready? This is noise gate and noise suppression. And okay. Noise is back when I turn on the noise gate. Excuse me? Noise is back. Huh. Okay. Sure. Let's see if it goes away again. Wait, they're both off. Oh, I know. That's my fault. Oh my god. Okay. You guys had me for a second. I turned them both off accidentally. On again? That was the instead of turning on noise gate, I turned off noise suppression there, which makes sense. This is what I normally stream on, which is noise suppression and noise gate. All right. Ever, can you hear me talk still? The important bit. It's all right, chat. To stream, all you need is a internet connection and a webcam. Oh, if you have those, you are golden. Golden. Perfect. There's issues with the noise gate though. Like if you focus on it and you does it cut the first like syllable or portion of a syllable when I speak? So like right now. So the issue is, do those come through clearly? As clearly when I say those in a row? So the issue is. The noise gate will sometimes clip the first part of it. Anyways, I'm just kind of curious. Clearly, maybe. That's what I like to hear. I don't know. I don't really, quite honestly. Okay. All right. Let's. You didn't hear the last part of Curious? That would be kind of weird. Let's take a look at the actual game. Yeah, that's the noise gate, right? Because it doesn't. It as I get softer, and I could probably play with the settings on that. But there's pros and cons to all this shit, right? And the biggest con is for me, for complexities, it adds failure points. The more complexity I put into this fucking system, the more points there are that when something goes wrong, I have to work through, as you guys saw today, right? If it was just a headphone mic, it's super easy to fucking fix that. You bring it outside back, hit it with a baseball bat, and order a new one. All right. How's the depth of this game? Not as deep as the sound audio issues, but you can't ask that of every single game. All right, I guess I'm going to update the title. I'm kind of like emotionally exhausted from that, honestly. That was 3 hours of audio issues. And chat, I want to put this in context too, right? That was 3 hours of audio issues. And you know what the end result was from 3 hours of audio troubleshooting with a bunch of people who are better at this than I am? In other words, so a more efficient troubleshooting than I would do on my own. The end result of this was we seem to be back to no problem. So after 3 hours of extensive testing, we're back to the initial setup with no changes, but the problem is gone. Mm-hmm. What the fuck do you do with that? Hold on, I might have the audio pixie emote. Did I not put it in? Did I not have a filthy audio? Or filthy pic? I can't remember. What are my stupid emotes right now? That was one of the, I commissioned it. I don't know if we've got it in yet. We don't have it in yet. It's coming. It's kind of like whiskey time. No whiskey today, unfortunately. I got driving fairly early tomorrow morning. See if I have it here still. I'd like to show you guys art assets, emotes. Oh yeah, Good, good. Don't open my fucking folders here. Did not make it there. Come on, I gotta have it somewhere. There it is. Maybe? Can't cycle through those. These look like the ones that actually made it in. I'll have to find it later. Sorry, guys. I'm pleased with it, though. Okay. Feels like whiskey time? It does fucking feel like whiskey time. I did a pretty heavy night last night of tequila. I was doing margaritas with, you know, fresh squeezing the limes, fresh squeezing the lemon juice, and then doing salt on the rims. Eat donuts to solve your problems. The donuts were really good. I don't get donuts very often, but my wife is was pretty adamant that we get these once more before leaving town. We have some really good donuts near us. So, okay. Yeah, like let me know if you can hear it on the VOD compared to. Anyways, are we gonna play games or are we gonna chat? I'm like now in a mood to chat. I'm like almost not even in a mood to get involved in the game right now, but I could. I don't know. I don't know what else we'd chat about right now. Now that the audio issue has fixed itself due to our extreme diligence and hard work, chat, we did it. Amazing. Yeah, it is amusing to remember that the green screen was fucking up for sure. Well, actually, that one is kind of amusing too, one heart, one mind, because the green screen fucking up is two things, right? The software sometimes resets itself kind of when you change background like big background issues. So sometimes like restarting the green screen or restarting the game, or sometimes even waving my hand as it sees foreground from background will change it. Like it just did it there, made it worse. See it making it worse. So that's one thing. The second thing is with the green screen is it's extremely light sensitive, right? Because that's what it's doing, and in that case, one of the things that fucks with it is light changing. So the overhead lights that the studio lighting that I use definitely heats up, and it heats up and the light changes because they're what are the bulbs called? The new generation of bulbs, the bio-friendly ones, the environmentally more friendly ones. So those ones definitely. God damn it, webcam! Are you fucking kidding me? I should never have demonstrated this issue. Those definitely change. So those are definitely sensitive to that. And then finally, shadows are a big issue, right? So I don't know if I want to point this out because I might screw it up again. But sometimes the position of my body relative to the light will change the way the shadows display, like behind me. And when the shadows change behind me, we can run into issues of the green screen also fucking up. So it's like super stupidly sensitive to like 3 different things. I don't know why motion does it, except maybe that it is shadows with the motion. So. Check the task manager for Iceland. It's not that. The PC's not overheating. I did, because I've been doing troubleshooting on this PC for as long as I've been an adult, and then some. The fuck is going on with this right now? It could actually be see, the problem with fucking with green screen settings is as soon as you restart the green screen at another time, it will be an issue. So I can, for example, go into the filter and adjust this right now. And that will be fine until next time I start the green screen. Okay. Do I need a better webcam? Better webcams on my next, if nothing fails in between now and my next hardware upgrade. That's the next hardware upgrade for sure. Okay. All right. Do I want to move rapidly? I'm not sure I do. Anyways, the green screen is not webcam software. Not really. The green screen is OBS software. So, yeah. Imagine having a staff to solve all these things. I just stopped reading right there. You're like, I mean, I guess I started reading right there with the way the order you phrased it, but I'm like, yeah, imagine having someone else solve that for you. That'd be fucking great. Although honestly, I don't know. Anyways. All right, we playing the game, chat, or are we chatting more? I'm so in a mood to chat now. I was telling you guys about tequila. Tequila went well last night. Do you guys have New Year's resolutions? When chat becomes unpaid staff? Yeah, you do. As a small business owner, I do a lot of unpaid work for my stream for sure. Point out my job is hard. I fluctuate back and forth on how I think about that. Sometimes I think about it as the easiest job in the world. I just log on and play games in front of people, and I don't even have to change what I'm doing for playing games, right? I mean, I do to some degree. I have to narrate, but narration's not that difficult once you get in the hang of it. You have to think, but I like to think. You have to content select. That gets harder. Content selection's a bitch because it's a juggling process of your own preferences, stream preferences, like what people want to watch, game cycle hype, things like this, developer sponsorships, developer push, stuff like that, platform restrictions, like Twitch is pretty restrictive as a platform and what they'll allow you to talk about and stream, and there's been changes with that. You guys have been following the stuff about you can't use certain words as insults anymore, although you can currently still use them as words. You can't stream certain content. There's some definitely some scary parts of Twitch with the fact that my income from Twitch can be canceled on a moment's notice without any transparency or rationale. That's pretty fucking scary. Some of the other stuff gets weird too, like what happens when you run out of content. We've been struggling with that a lot over the years. You know, we have I thought we've done pretty good this year. Tom, my community manager, wrote me up a pretty good review of the year, and was talking about, you know, felt like we've expanded our search quite a lot. I think we have. This year was good for searching with the ministry review. That was a very, very solid addition to the channel. Got a lot of games on this channel that we wouldn't have played otherwise, including this game, which I've been pretty pleased about. But there's still issues of the stuff that I like to stream, the stuff that you guys like to watch, for me, doesn't perfectly overlap. And then that neither of those things perfectly overlap with what games are actually available. Why not dual stream on YouTube? Twitch partners and affiliates are legally not allowed to dual stream on YouTube. So I would have to become a non-partner again to do that. You're locked, your content is, what's the word I'm looking for? Exclusive. So I can't dual stream ever because that would be the same stuff. But I could, for example, well, actually I'm not sure that's true. But I could, for example, stream to Facebook or YouTube for like a podcast, for example, as long as it's not gaming content. Because technically I'm a gaming content channel, right? Feels like you have to grab people's attention while remaining authentic, which feels difficult in any form of entertainment. Yes, yep, I agree with that. I do find that quite challenging. Yes, the amount of shit you have to know in all these various buckets for sure. And one of the issues is I don't, you know, like you guys probably know this from my gameplay, right? Which is I like to know my systems. Like I don't really like knowing a lot of things shallowly on a shallow level. I prefer to know kind of what's really going on behind the scenes, and I just can't do that in this profession. There's too many things for that. See what else is going on in chat here. I don't know if I don't really do New Year's resolutions, but I do goals. I have goals for this year, stream goals for this year. I want to get into VR streaming. Got a really nice location here for this. We did a stream the other day on channel when we went through a lot of the upcoming VR content and existing VR content out there. But I have this physical space in this location to do VR streaming, and I have the desire to do it, and it ties in nicely with the new camera upgrade, so I could do something like simultaneously get another camera that's more mobile than the webcam, so it wouldn't be a webcam, it would be a real camera with a capture card. It will be higher quality, mobile for something like streaming from my phone if I want to do like a camping or climbing stream with you guys. But it also allows me to do something like get either a tripod or mount it to the ceiling of my basement downstairs, where I can like basically slot it in if I want to stream the VR downstairs, or bring it upstairs to my main PC and stick it on the desktop as a just regular webcam streaming. So I think that will be fairly fun. I'm not really interested in VR horror. I fucking hate jump scares, but there is a lot of VR stuff that I think VR is going to get better and better, right? Climbing streams would be rad. I don't know. They might be boring. I mean, what I'm looking forward to doing again as soon as I possibly can is gym climbing. I like outdoor climbing just fine, but what I like is multiple times a week gym climbing, which is kind of I find that's my all-time favorite physical exercise ever. I do biking around here too. I could bring chat and bike rides, but I think it's going to be fucking a nightmare with audio and probably not that interesting. I mean, it's just going to be like, you know, Iowa fields, which is possible, but I could do it eventually. Got to figure out which of these setups I actually want to do. Climbing's just a satisfying exercise. Yeah, for sure. That's why I do it, because it's very good for me physically, and it doesn't feel like I'm exercising. It feels like I'm doing something fun. Same with VR, honestly. That's what I like. Some of the movement in VR I like for that same reason. Race bike or MTB? What is MTB mountain bike here? Is what that stands for? Must be. I do trail riding around here, which is it's not mountain biking. It's not racing either. It's like exercise. Anytime being in danger situation when you climb, difference between danger and outdoors and indoors. Climbing really isn't a dangerous sport when you're doing it right. I mean, I suppose you have the risk of death in it, I suppose, but I mean, honestly, I'm not exactly going out of my way to take risk climbing. I mean, I guess I've had some problems with it too. I guess I've almost died climbing, at least once. Like really came close to dying once climbing. So I guess there's maybe I have to walk that back a little bit. It's definitely less dangerous inside. Interacting bike and climbing with people keeps things interesting. Maybe. Not a lot of people interaction going on these days. You mean interacting with chat? Sure. How many kilometers do I ride or do I bike usually? Not that much. It depends how regularly I'm doing it and what stuff's available. Around here, before my bike was stolen this year, I don't know, we're going every couple of days. I don't know the length of that track we're going. It was I go to a location and go back. I don't remember what it was. Honestly, sorry. I'm not super hardcore about it. I'm doing it for duration of exercise more than I'm doing it for, and duration and intensity more than I'm doing it for like checking off bookmarks of like this far. Climbing is a little bit easier to know that for, right, than biking, because for climbing all your routes are rated, so like you have a better sense of what you're doing at every moment, as opposed to biking. I'm just like, oh, I'm biking to this location. So anyways, we want to do I'm tired of COVID. I'm sure none of you guys are, but I'm looking forward to post-vaccination getting back into climbing gyms. I'm looking forward to getting into biking again when I can find a fucking bike. You know how hard it is to buy a bike right now, chat? I'm a 6'2" guy, and I like a slightly larger framed bike, and it is stupid hard right now to get a bike that I want from supply issues with COVID, which is so dumb. Swimming in the ocean? Yeah, not near an ocean, but there is a chance that I am not in Iowa next year, or by the end of next year anyways. Tough to say yet. Don't know what that's going to be like, if that's true or not, and where we'll, if we end up somewhere, I'll probably end up Florida if I end up somewhere else, which would be nice from a streamer perspective to some degree. No state income tax is kind of nice as a streamer, although not the biggest of things. Neighborhood bike racks, just wasted junk still chained to the racks. Yeah. I want to restart the ISP issues by moving. Yeah. You guys want to hear a funny ISP update? So got fiber at home, right? And did the test streaming for that, and it was fine, perfect. And then I ran test streams for 2.5 days. So nearly 60 hours of, right around 60 hours of test streaming. And then I moved the setup home. And immediately the next 2 or 3 days that I was home, my internet was fucking absolute dog shit, dropping out. Like the same problems I had, the same type of problems I had before I left for the office. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck is going on? So I call up business tech support, which, because when I got the fiber line is a business line. And their tech support was good. So I immediately got a tech support agent who listened to what I had to say, which is actually surprisingly not what normally happens on tech support, believe it or not. And then she's like, well, let me gather information. She's like, you're a previous customer with us on your residential. Let me gather the information from that, and I'll call you back in a bit. So she went and did that, and instead of her calling me back, she had the fucking network department call me back, which I've been trying to reach since I've been at this location in 2 different companies for 5 months combined. And I got it on day 1 of business tech support. The network support, what it was called the NOC department, which is like, it's like network. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but anyways, hold on, Adiki, hold on. So I get a hold of that. Get a hold of this person, calls me back. Yeah, Network Operations Center. That sounds right. And I'm talking to this guy. He's talking to me, and he's like, I'm telling him, talking a little bit about the issue. He's like, well, I can see the traffic on your network. I can see what's going on with this. And he's like, it's a bandwidth issue. And I'm like, are you sure? That's not really consistent with the problems I've been seeing. When I was with the previous company, I had a gig down and 50 up. My current fiber right now is 50 up, 50 down. So I'm like, I had a gig down. So a gig here is what, 20 times what 50 up, 50 down is in terms of bandwidth. So I had 20 times the down bandwidth and the same up bandwidth. He's like, it's a bandwidth issue. And I'm like, well, up or down? I'm like, I've streamed on 6 up before with YouTube, with streaming, and been fine with this, and did that for a couple years, but things could change, right? Might not be that. And he's like, oh, it's a down issue. He's like, look here Netflix starts up and it wants to pull 37 down. And he's like, and look at this. And so he's telling me this stuff, and I'm like, well, look, man, I don't want to, like, clearly you're trained in this and you have a background in this and I don't, and I don't want to contradict this, but it doesn't really make sense, right? Like, the issue isn't when my wife's on Netflix, it's a problem. And I'm getting these drops in the middle of the night when no one is using any bandwidth on my entire home network, right? The only bandwidth being pulled is OBS running its test stream. So, could it be something else? Oh no, it's the bandwidth. It's the bandwidth. He's like, so I'll hook you up. He's like, I'll connect you to the sales department, and you guys can sort out some more bandwidth stuff. We kind of ended that conversation a little frostily, right? Like, I was trying to be both acknowledging his better understanding of this, but also being true to the fact that I've fucking experienced this for 5 months now. And the problems the solution he was suggesting didn't actually seem to be consistent with the problem. And honestly, I don't give a fuck about paying. No, I don't think it was I do not think his motivation was to try to get me to buy an extended, an upgraded version of the service. I'll tell you why for 2 reasons in a second. So I really don't think that was his motivation. I think his motivation was, honestly, he thought he had solved it and was thinking he was dealing with a customer who was being a pain for some reason. Now, this is a problem with him not really listening to me, because he didn't come back and say that could be because of XYZ. He just kind of ignored my kind of like being like, hey, that doesn't really make sense with what's happening, right? And again, maybe this is a lack of knowledge on my part, maybe. So anyways, the business department, or the sales portion of the business team has actually been excellent. They've been really good. I dealt with them. So they're like, hey, he's like, that guy was like, hey, I can give you a free week of an upgraded business account at whatever speed you really want for that, to try it out, to make sure that fixes the problem before you upgrade. So, so that was pretty cool. So anyways, again, I don't think they're trying to sell me more, because if they're trying to sell me more, they don't give me the free trial, right? Because why bother giving me the free trial, right? If they're just trying to get me upgraded. Anyways, neither here nor now, or neither here nor there, rather. So before accepting that, I said, well, let me just rule out some things before I change the upgrade. I don't want to change the bandwidth up or down until I get some troubleshooting on my end. So that was like Sunday. So I had the Monday and the Tuesday to troubleshoot before streaming again on the Wednesday. So I was troubleshooting, and the first thing I did to troubleshoot was I killed everything on the network, right? If it's a bandwidth issue, I should be able to, I shut down the Wi-Fi and I kicked off all the devices on the network except my PC. Because if it's a bandwidth issue, by removing the bandwidth problems, I should see the bitrate go back up. If essentially too many devices are reaching for this, it should go away there. Well, it doesn't go away. Problem's still there. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, of course it's not the fucking bandwidth. doesn't make any sense for anything that's happened in the past. Why would it be the bandwidth? But anyways, so the next thing I do is I pull the router out entirely. I'm like, all right, well, let me just, you know, my next thought was when they put fiber in, fiber has like what's essentially a fiber modem. I don't know what it's called. It's called like an endpoint or a drop point or something like this. But essentially, it's a little small device in your house that converts the fiber coming in from the outdoors into Ethernet at home, into Cat 5 or Cat 6 in your house, right? So you can plug it into a computer. So my first thought was, well, maybe the router isn't interfacing very well with the fiber modem, because previously it was my cable modem talking to my router, talking to my computer, right? And and it's the same brand. It's a Netflix, or not Netflix, Netgear modem, Netgear router. I'm like, okay, so let's fix that. So I pull the router out of the system, and it fucking works fine, no issues whatsoever. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, the number of times this router has been changed or tested in the past, and then I just reboot the router. I just literally fucking go through, I go firmware update it, and then, or rather reset the whole fucking thing to factory default, then firmware update, and then reset up my router settings. And then it's communicating fine with the fiber modem. Issue goes away, not bandwidth related at all. And it's an issue that I've fixed a million times before, or rather tested a million times before. So what I actually think happened now is this, chat. I think I was having an issue on the cable when I had cable with them, because I've certainly reset the router since I've been testing the cable, and I've tried 3 routers on that cable, right? I then changed to the fiber. I think the issue we had on the cable went away. And then I think I got this random router fucking problem. Just happened to correspond with a similar display pattern for the issue that I was getting from the output that I was getting from Twitch, right? Which is essentially your bitrate failing. I can't remember why the fuck I brought this up. Anyways, because why did I bring this up? Anyways, so the ISP, because you're asking, do I want to start the ISP issue all over again? No, I don't want to start the ISP issue all over again, but I think at this point I feel like everything is problematic somewhere or the other. So like, I'm not sure that going to another location and starting again is going to be any worse than dealing with this as it is now, kind of deal. So it was the router. No, the router's fine now. The router's totally fine. The router needed like a reboot after interfacing with the fiber modem, and maybe it needed a factory default reset settings for this. Yeah, but the home internet's been resolved for like a week or so, Neopol. But yes, home issue's been resolved. But Veteran Vandal, probably what there was is essentially we dealt with the problem on the cable, which wasn't a router problem. That issue that's plagued me for 5 months here is something to do with the cable network from this location. Probably it's about two pings up the fucking pole, right? Like it's probably something to do with the physical infrastructure in my relative area in this neighborhood, probably on the cable connection. And then by switching to fiber, we bypassed that shit. But then I had a problem initially with the fiber that looked a lot like on my side looked a lot like the problem I was having on the fucking cable, but wasn't. And during this, of course, tech support is still grasping at straws and not going the right direction. I mean, which is fair. I would have pushed back so hard if they're like, it's your router on this. I'd be like, you know how many times I've fucking changed the router with your cable modem and it hasn't fixed it? But anyways, it was amusing. It was amusing. So here we are. No, I think One Heart, One Mind, that is, again, I think we have narrowed it down pretty clearly. I mean, we've knocked off all the limbs of this, right? This is like, if you look at the troubleshooting process, kind of like we were doing earlier, right? We pulled one thing out of the system, added another, etc., right? And we've narrowed this down. I think nothing can be true anymore except for the one thing, which is this has to be karmic. This must be karma. There must actively be some universal force acting against me in a systematic way for this string of luck to make any sense, right? Like, I think we're beyond the realm of chance here. I think. Anyways, but here we are. Yeah, scroll of atonement for my near cleric. Yeah, like I don't know which. The problem is I don't know which deity or representation of universal force I need to appease. because I believe this was a last life kind of problem. Do I actually believe in karmic reincarnation? No. Black cats? Maybe. Where's Thaddeus? Yeah, I should be like, Kevin, look. So, I don't know, chat. So here we are. So this morning, random audio issue just feels like, you know, it's par for the course. It's like, missed it. Everything working right? That can't last on a filthy robot stream. Are you insane? I sometimes worry that I come off as particularly inept at this stuff. And maybe I am. Maybe that is part of it, but fuck. I feel like it's not that. And I could be wrong still. It's a 2020 modifier? Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right, for real chat, I'm going to go get some water. And then we're going to pretend to play this game a little bit more, okay? All right, back in a sec. I'm going to, while I do this, which is what I normally do, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. As I walk away from the computer, I'm going to mute the mic. Presumably muting the mic will break everything, but we'll see. And I'm going to turn off the webcam, so rip green screen. And I'm probably going to kick or be kicked by an animal or child. And probably struck by lightning. But I don't think that will matter for the stream. All right, chat, we're back. What survived and what didn't survive? All right. What are we effing? Uh-oh. Oh, I see. This is where we all coordinate to spam F. Yeah. The guys who are particularly helpful in tech support. In other words, people who have suckered me into believing that they are legitimate sources of information, reliable contributors. Now spamming F, for sure. For sure that would fuck with my head. Chat, I want to chat more. I will gameplay if I have to, but I kind of just want to chat more. I guess I can close paint photos. Have I showed you these things? Hold on, I want to see if I. So some time ago, I'll show you this. I'll show you this one too. So some time ago, I set up when I was doing this audio shit so much. I got tired of trying to remember what they were. Did I show you these guys on stream before? I don't know if I did. Hold on. Can I window capture this? Yeah, okay. So at some point, some time ago, I went through and added screen captures of all of these sound settings for all of the different things I have to fuck with when I change sound settings. Just so every time like a Windows update goes through and it fucks with like two sound settings, that I have it for the future. Because I don't want to have to change like 12 different things every single time for troubleshooting. I don't know. It just gets. I don't know if this is like complexity without utility anymore. If it's just complicated. No. You want that manual for the audio box? Sure. I'll give you the manual for the audio box. I don't think it was very useful, but I can send it that way. Yeah. I'll send it to you. It's no problem. But anyways, I found that kind of amusing. I think it was like the 4th or 5th time I had to rebuild that from scratch. I'm just like, fuck this. Because the voice meter ones are a pain, right? They're not inherently difficult, but the naming scheme that voice meter has chosen and you can't reset, you can't change their naming scheme, for me is not at all intuitive. It's like opposite intuition, which is always kind of rough for me. All right, we can be done bitching about RNG. Do you guys want to talk anything else?
A generous bestowal.
Oh, thanks, Chalric. Cheers for the $15, man. $10 a gallon here in Florida? What? Oh no, it's nowhere near that. It's like I think it's under $2 a gallon here. I think. But cheers, man. Appreciate the donation. Yeah, got some traveling tomorrow. Still running on gas. Yeah. Yep. I'm sure when my stream breaks out, streaming small indie games mixed with tech support and alcohol, I'm sure when that goes viral, I'll just get myself a Tesla. Oh, 210. I see. That makes sense. I'm like $10 a gallon. I'm like, what the fuck? That's like what was the price? There was, anyways, yeah, $2.10 a gallon. I think we're around like $1.80 or something. So 60 cents in your province. Where the fuck do you live that you get gas 60 cents a gallon? Drunken tech support. No, I tried to set up my PC one time. I had moved it, and I had overindulged it slightly with mind-altering substance, and I got to a point where I was like staring at these two pieces of my PC, and I'm like, I don't know how the fuck these are gonna go together. I have no idea how the setup is going to work. But I had to do it the next day because it just wasn't gonna happen. So no, I don't think we want to do tech support drunk. I think that's probably not where we want to be for this. All right, game or chat? Game or chat? I want to chat. You got any topics for me? We just continue our do we transition this fluidly into an AMA? And then keep the background music? We could really fuck with ourselves. You ready? Because I believe this background music here, there's something we were listening to earlier today, has like a staticky sound to it. Is Crowfall coming back? I don't know. So I stopped playing Crowfall when I went to the office because I essentially, well, rather when the storm came through, and then I went to my in-laws' place for a month, and then I came back and went to the office because I didn't have a home PC. So playing a game, yeah, right here, this sound is a little staticky. So I thought initially maybe like Nobu was hearing static that way. But anyways, is Crowfall coming back? They have changed it quite a bit since I last played. They removed passive skills, for example, which kind of annoys me a little bit. And I still have a lot of friends and the guild I was in actively playing Crowfall. So I don't know is the answer. I haven't yet picked it up again, but that doesn't mean I couldn't. Kill mail and kill boards were some of the most inspiring things in EVE. So it would be kind of frustrating if they... I don't think they do, but it would be interesting to see. I am currently a Crowfall affiliate. So if they did finally work that out for me, that was just in time for when I stopped playing again. So if I do go back that way, I got like ways to get you guys in cheaper, etc., which is kind of nice. TV shows or books, we can go there, ask some questions. Did I go to college or just wing it? I have a master's degree. I left before finishing my PhD. By the storm, I meant hurricane. I don't know how to say this word. I think it's Derecho or Derecho. It's a suddenly forming land hurricane. So yes. Crowfall was cool. They added some anti-stream sniping stuff, Calric, on the game side to make streaming better. I haven't touched it since then, so I haven't seen exactly what that looks like. I don't know if it's a streamable game or not. I go back and forth on that. We kind of had a mixed bag streaming at kind of low viewership, which is fine in the short term. But there are some issues of streaming it just because of stream sniping. Not so much as like displaying it, as the game just may not be something that you can do very well while still streaming. It just, you give up. Information is such an important part of that game, like location information and numbers information, that you lose a lot of your ability to do well in that game with the timing attacks by constantly broadcasting where you're at. So I don't know. Armored cardio. I loved my my fucking pit fighter is the number one thing I miss in that game. And they added, so one of the things they just did in Crowfall in the last couple months, I haven't looked into it too deeply yet, is they redid all the character specs. So before it was very limited to what your characters were. Most pit fighters looked like most other pit fighters, for example. Pit fighter is a subclass of champion. So like each of the subclasses were pretty one-dimensional in terms of their builds. They maybe had some very small differences, but not much. And they've fixed a lot of that. So there's a lot more diversity in build now, which is cool. Which means, and diversity in build means you can do, I like diversity in build for a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons why I like that is A, people can fuck it up, which is nice. So if you do well, you can make a character better. But B, you can do specialization. So when they offer you enough things to do, you can have highly specialized characters, and highly specialized characters outperform generalists in those specific scenarios, which again means you can do things that other people can't, which is really fun for me. What was my master's on? Do you mean, are you asking what did I do my my thesis on, or do you mean generally what was my master's in? We all seem to have fun with the Crowfall combat. It could be fun. There's a lot of waiting, always in the games like that. When in games where there's some cost to dying, and in Crowfall the cost isn't particularly large, but especially like EVE is a very good example of this, right? When there's a lot of risk in dying, people tend to play fairly risk adverse, so sometimes you can run into these scenarios where people do not want to come out and fight. Public fleets or stream delay. Stream delay is essentially not how I want to stream. I feel like the trade-off for stream delay is not worth any of the benefits, including being able to stream the game. Wormholes. I don't have any interest in PvE activities in MMOs particularly. The things that I enjoy about MMOs are almost always PvP. Ever go back to EVE, let me know. Thanks. Yeah, EVE was a blast, but I have no intention of going back. My thesis. My thesis was on sexual arousal and sexual disgust. Yeah, stream delay Dadmos doesn't really work, does it? It's a conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter on Monday. Keep an eye out. Oh, cool. On what is this? Monday? Probably not going to be very good. Monday, I am midway between Iowa and Florida. Somewhere in Tennessee, I believe, for the night. Any games I'll replay in the next year? For sure. Yeah. I am super excited about touching in on Solasta. Solasta just had an update, and I almost considered streaming it today, but I'm trying to get a... I don't want to overplay Solasta early access content and break that experience for myself later. So I am very excited about Solasta. I think it's has the potential to be my next favorite RPG. So We'll also see Baldur's Gate 3, or yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 could also be good if they do some work with that. I read the patch notes for both the current Celeste update and the Baldur's Gate 3 update, and they both look really good. Darkest Dungeon has said that their release date is 2021 as well. So presumably we'll be seeing Darkest Dungeon 2, which seems pretty good. Tell me more. We just looked at the interaction of sexual arousal on sexual disgust. So we manipulated sexual arousal as a variable, and then looked at self-report, self-disgust, or sexual disgust. Well, we did all three disgust domains, but the one that was particularly interesting was sexual disgust. What was the game? The MMO? Crowfall. How do I spell the name of Crowfall? Like that. Wrath of the Righteous. Don't know that. That's not even on my radar. What's Wrath of the Righteous? Oh, I'm also hoping to do some VR streams this year. The most exciting game that I found on VR was God, what's it called right now? It's not out yet. It's still development, so it could be shit in the end of it. But it was the one where you control a battle fleet. That looked really cool. Squadron Commander, possibly? Something very similar to that. Pathfinder adventure. Yeah, I haven't touched Pathfinder with the changes. I'm worried that it doesn't make it... I'm worried it's still going to have the grindiness, but now turn-based and make it take forever. Celeste was better than BG3. They both released early access within like a couple weeks of each other. And their first look at early access. The Celeste was a more true port of D&D, which made it a more enjoyable experience to begin with. But Baldur's Gate 3, if you've been keeping up on their patch reviews, which I have been, seems to have been moving in that direction, doing things like toning down, random the random ground effects and stuff like that. So Celeste is a much smaller studio that's putting that out. I don't even remember the name of the studio right now. Than Larian with BG3. So I don't know. I'm hopeful for them both, quite honestly. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a lot of fun to play. I really liked the world map movement, and I just liked the game. The game was good. But let's see. Anything else immediately? Let me take a look. So I think the Filthy Game Sheet, I never know which part of this, I forget which part of this is public and which part isn't. So you know what we could do, chat? I've been meaning to do this. Shit, we should do this. Oh my God, this is a good idea. Okay. I need to go through this spreadsheet and update the public facing like ratings, because I wanted to give you guys kind of my thoughts on games thus far. What is this here? I don't give a fuck about the graphics. I care a little bit about graphics. So let's see. So if I do one where I'm not logged in. So what do you guys see for this? Oh, the Planned Games is woefully out of date, isn't it? That's too bad. The Planned Games aren't though. Tier 2 review. Okay. All right. Yeah, I should show you guys this. If you haven't seen this, this is something you guys should know about. I'll show you it on screen in a second here. Let me just fire this up. So and here. Nice. Okay. So this is the kind of channel spreadsheet for games. And I don't know why it's in this order. I should fix this order at some point. But the problem with, I don't know that I've actually updated Filthy's final score in a very long time. I think this might be, oh, I just haven't updated it. So really what I should do is update this. But man, I don't know if this is I gotta ask Tom if this list is actually the up-to-date one that I have. So these are upcoming games that we're likely to try on stream or have recently played on stream. I don't know why fucking StarCraft 2 is on here. There's a 0% chance that makes it to stream. So some of this is a little bit out of date, it looks like. But a lot of these we've played through or planning on playthrough. And then these are the games that we've actually done on stream. at some point or another. And there's a hell of a lot of them. And at some point, we got links to where they were for a lot of them. And then also my ratings on them. Ever tried Valkyria Chronicles? I played it offline one time for like 2 hours and didn't like it. So I've never played it online. So anyways, I kind of need to finish rating the ones that I haven't rated on here. I only act like it's kind of weird because I have a slightly different sheet that also has some game keys on it. So I have to be careful which ones I show on stream versus which ones I'm not, because I don't want to accidentally broadcast that stuff. But like I played these. And I need to really kind of flesh out that rating system, because initially we go in with the initial ratings. The initial ratings are kind of like predictive, and then actually having played them, the other ratings come out as they're -3 to 3 for final ratings. Like here's Civ 6 over here, and there's Civ 5. So if you want like the full range, it goes from there to there. I just trying to think. I wanted to, the other thing I wanted to do, maybe we can do that in a second, which is I wanted to know the total number of games I've played this year, because I haven't looked at that yet either. So if I drag that in, so this is Sully Gnome, which is not actually super accurate, but it does tend to get like game categories, even if it doesn't really get viewers and hours that well. But I was really curious which games I had played over the past 365 days, like how many. Like see, for example, it thinks I've only streamed Battle Brothers 421 hours over the last year. That's almost certainly wrong. But anyways, I wanted to see what this was. So does it tell me how many? Is it just, do I have to literally count? That's promising that I have to drop down to 100 categories, because I think it's over 50. It says 64 games in the last year. That seems close to right. Maybe a little low still. So part of the goal of the channel, right, is to experience as many of the good games, regardless of the platform they're on, or really the system ideally, just to get the best games that we can on the channel, but also then to provide a list of the games we played and how we thought about them for people who are interested in doing that. Yeah, so I was actually just about to mention that, Alder Dice. Which is, I was really considering doing like a top 10. Like maybe what I do here is we do it on stream right now. Like I identify my top 10, and then I kind of do like a YouTube video just talking about the top 10. That might be worth doing. So top 10 of this year. You guys want to poke through it? Down for it? All right. So I think. All right, I'm gonna give an excuse, and take this excuse as you will or won't. Maybe you don't buy it, maybe you do. But for me, the YouTube videos tend to be labors of love. The YouTube videos, the guide videos, and they tend to be. I only really feel comfortable making the guide videos of games when I put a lot of hours into the game and I'm comfortable with the game, right? So it's very difficult for me, for example, to do a guide video of a game when I've just started it, because I don't feel like I have enough expert knowledge to teach the game, right? So the other thing is that I generally plan these fairly extensively. I think about them for a while, then I start like mapping out what I want to put into them, and then I actually sit down and do it. And that process tends to be fairly time intensive for me. And what I haven't had this year since I moved has been time, because every single fucking moment of every single time I'm not streaming pretty much has been tech support this year. And I'm only just literally in the last couple weeks now at home with a stable connection that I can stream on. So part of what suffered this year is the in-depth kind of YouTube content that I normally create, because I just haven't had the time to do it. Like I did some with the Battle Brothers stuff and I wanted to do more. And I just like, anyways. So be it as my excuse or not, it's one of the things that next year, hopefully I'll do a little bit better. But the point being that for this, that I'm trying to think of which games we got super in depth into and what I've actually put out for them. So got to outsource part of the video making process. I outsource all of the editing. I pay an editor for my YouTube video stuff. But it's not that. It's literally just like, imagine this. Okay, Itadiki, you ready? What's your priority? Right now, you can't stream at all. Are you worried about recording your next YouTube video? Are you worried about getting your fucking stream fixed? What about if you're paying half of your monthly rent again in an office that you're renting? Is your priority recording a YouTube video? Is your priority figuring out the fucking tech issue to get out of that office? What if your power and internet is out for your entire state, but also your town, and was out for 7 weeks? Is your priority sitting down and recording a YouTube video? Or is it, trying to figure out a location you're going to stream from, figure out where you're going to get to, how you're going to find this location and get set up in the middle of COVID season, like how you're going to find out when your internet, what you're going to do about your house in the meantime? It's just like, yeah, no, I'm not pushing back against the complaint. I'm just trying to put in perspective why this year has been not so great in terms of YouTube guide videos. A Jedi of gaming. I think that's meant as a compliment. I think it's meant as a compliment. All right. So I guess the first thing is let's go through and see what Sully Gnome thinks I played this year. And I guess I can start keeping track of the ones that really stick out today. Consider moving to a first world country. My wife's job is really the thing that limits where I live. So all of those considerations must be put behind that. Taking a look at Humankind. Not yet. Soon though. All right, I'll take a look. Battle Brothers, the expansion this year was absolutely incredible. I don't know if I think I will do major updates to a game, at least DLC, etc. as new releases for that experience. Battle Brothers is definitely in the top 10. It's probably in the top 3 this year. It certainly performed the best on my channel of all the games we streamed this year, but it was also one of the most fun experiences. Battletech was also excellent. I had a blast with that game. It's only getting better too. That's Rogue Tech. That definitely should be on there as well. I feel like you're the odd man out being an American in a US stream. What? Takes a lot of time to make a YouTube video, and you have a lot of viewers that would be happy to help with the making of them. It's very difficult to outsource that process in any way, Itadiki. It's a lot of work transferring. It's a pain in the ass to transfer video back and forth, and it's difficult doing creative things with multiple creative impact. The most way that and volunteers are also very sketchy. Like volunteers are really hit or miss with how well they help out. The volunteers who are super conscientious and who do what they say they're going to do and show up regularly are amazing. The volunteers are kind of like doing whatever, are kind of super useless because they sabotage the process of it. And then because they're volunteers, they're not accountable. They put in the time they want to put in. That's the definition of volunteering, right? So for me, I liked the move. I think it was last year of I moved to a community manager who I pay, and I moved to an editor who I pay. And then I try to, when I can, tap the community for ideas, etc., like for the Ministry of Review. That's super helpful as well. But that's less of like, if one Ministry of Review member doesn't review a couple games, it probably doesn't sync the project, right? Oh, I see. My chat is heavily European. I think it's the time zone, but yeah, I do have a fair number of Europeans in chat for sure. So Battletech was excellent. Urtalk, was that this year? Did I spend most of these hours in Urtalk this year? I don't remember spending it in this year. Wasn't that the end of last year? Friday the 20th of December. Oh, this is the game. This is not me playing it. When did I play it? The fuck was it? I thought this was playtime. I'm like, I think that seems high. Yeah, I did a lot of Urtalk at the beginning of the year. Urtalk was excellent too. Selfless. I don't know if it's selfless, man. It's just rational, right? I mean, I can stream from wherever, hypothetically, even if I have to spend 5 fucking months fixing the fucking internet when I get there. But I can technically stream from anywhere. So moving for her job makes sense, right? Total War Warhammer, I enjoyed, but I wouldn't say it was my top 10. Hades was excellent. I think this Darkest Dungeon, that was Darkest Dungeon multiplayer we played, which was okay, but I don't think it was my top 10 played this year. Curse of the Dead Gods was fun, but I feel a bit like a traitor saying this. I did enjoy Hades more than I enjoyed Curse of the Dead Gods. Even though I played Curse of the Dead Gods first, had a blast with that game. Don't think it was top 10. Old World needs work. It had potential, but it was one of these issues again where the power creep for the player was too strong, and you ended up like having a best strategy that was repetitive. Monster Train was fun. Fun in kind of, for me, like a much more disposable way. Don't think I'd call it top 10, but maybe. Legends of Keepers was quite good. Didn't have a lot of content and got repetitive, but I had fun with it. Solasta, that's definitely top 10 for me. I'm super excited about that game. Ring of Pain was better than Monster Train. Not at its current iteration, it isn't. Monster Train had more replayability, more unique mechanics in my opinion, and was probably a more fleshed out game. Ring of Pain, I liked Ring of Pain more than I liked Monster Train, but I don't think I could call it a better game yet. Cyberpunk was a letdown. Retropolis was okay, but not top 10. It's Baldur's Gate 3. That was pretty exciting. I liked Ring of Pain, but I felt like I was out of content at 28 hours in. And I think, what did I play? Apparently only played 45 hours of Monster Train. Again, I don't think these estimates are super good, because this is just this is a third-party thing tracking my stream stuff.
Fight me 1v1 U4.
Hey, that's to do. We can't fight 1v1 in EU4. I don't play EU4 anymore. But we can play a game that I play that you don't play, and then we can fight 1v1 if you like, if that helps. But thanks for the resub. Crowfall. I enjoyed Crowfall. I don't know if it was top 10 this year. It's a different experience than anything else I play on stream. The part of MMOs that I love are the PvP, and Crowfall is team PvP, and team PvP is some of the most fun PvP you can do in any sort of game setup, where you're relying on other people, but because I hate the part about relying on other people, but I love the fact of the complexity you can get from multiple humans all coordinating to do something. So I don't know. You think I'd beat you in EU4? I don't, man. I haven't played in a long time. I didn't enjoy Frostpunk this year. Mortal Realm Vampire Wars was kind of repetitive. Teamfight Tactics went up and down for me. Democracy 4, I gotta say that was up there in my experiences. Really enjoyed that game this year. I'll write that down, see if we get to 10 with that or not. Just Chatting, we've only done that for 13 hours, chat. See what I mean about this being wrong? I know for a fact we've done more than 13 hours of just chatting this year. The debug streams, you know, chat, I like talking with you guys. And I like the break from time to time of just sitting down and shooting the shit. And think how great it will be if it's literally over a campfire in real life. And if I can do that this next year, when my wife and I go camping, to like turn on the stream for a couple hours in the evening around a campfire, that'd be fucking sick. Crusader Kings 3, I enjoyed that. We only played it very briefly though. Raid Shadow Legends, I liked this game. I don't know if I'm gonna put it in top 10, but I liked it. Your viewer count does weird things. One heart, one mind. And parts of me sometimes, you know, you have to obsess about it some point as a streamer to some degree. But another part of it is, I don't know. I'm not too worried about it, especially not right now. Even better on a beer at a Twitch convention. I am really looking. I am so bummed out this year that shit, was it this year? Time. Whenever the fucking TwitchCon was May, right? The EU TwitchCon that got canceled, that I had booked flight and booked room for already to go to Amsterdam for TwitchCon. I was super bummed that didn't happen. So, am I obliged to say I like it? Absolutely not. I like this game. I play this game outside of stream time still, because I enjoy it. Aratus, definitely not making the cut. I have repeated criticisms of Aratus that haven't changed. I don't remember playing Magic this year. I think we've dabbled in it very briefly. Legends of Runeterra is fine. I had fun with that for a couple weeks and got bored. Other side, didn't really enjoy that much. Warhammer Mechanicus was good, but I don't know. Like, the game, I guess for this top 10, right now we're at 7. What are our categories for this in terms of, do we like let in games with fatal flaws or no? Do we want to put some like secondary like fatal flawed games in here? Like, some games are just really fun until you like get to a point and then they're useless because you like beat all the stuff. And of those, like Crowfall, Cyberpunk, secondary category, we'll think about it. Any other ones that we skipped down here? Dark Dungeon PvP was entertaining for a little bit. Ring of Pain, I'd call that. Ring of Pain was excellent. So weirdly, some of these games, like Cyberpunk was fun until you realized all your decisions don't matter. Then it became a trudge. Ring of Pain was kind of the opposite. Ring of Pain just ran out of content, essentially. You beat it a couple times with a couple different ways, and then you're out of content. But the content remained fun all the way through until you were just repeating yourself, right? And maybe that's true of Cyberpunk too, except Cyberpunk was like, here's all these bells and whistles, but the bells and whistles don't do anything. Ring of Pain was like, here's your bells and whistles, they work, but there's a few that work better than others. And as you repeat through this in a game that is a roguelike, so you're going to do it lots of times anyways, you just end up doing the same things. What are we rating them for? I'm probably going to do, I was considering doing a recap for the year of my top 10 and talk a little bit about each of them and why I liked them and why I didn't like them and my thoughts on them if I'm going to come back to them kind of deal. You'd make it personal to me, like how I liked Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah, that's certainly, I mean, these are personal recommendations. I just don't know if that would reach top 10. I can write it in there. That one's weird. I just did a business call with F2K's new business guy talking about that. A lot of people really hated that game and hated promoting it, but I really didn't. I really liked it. It took me a while to figure out what was going on in it, enough to like talk about it. So if there's another promotion for that, I will do another promotion for that game. And I would like to, I was actually considering making a guide video or two for that game. We'll see. Yeah, well, I'm not making the video right now, Warrior. I'm just kind of, well, I thought maybe it would be fun to kind of continue. I'm not really feeling like playing gameplay right now. I'm kind of feeling like chatting after our 3 hours of fucking troubleshooting stream we did this morning. So I'm kind of just enjoying reminiscing about the year with you guys right now. Let's take a look. Yeah, and if you say that in some places, Supra, like all of like chat comes down on you, like telling you what a sellout you are, etc. But I agree with that sentiment. Mechanicus was fun, although it's all ambience and it fades after a while when you find the gameplay gets easy and repetitive, which was unfortunate. But or you turn it up in difficulty enough and it becomes like the worst thing ever. Have I ever played Caves of Crud? No.
Have returned.
I don't know what that is. Hey Zargi.
Filthy love.
Thanks for the resub, man. Filthy love right back at you. Phantom Brigade. I'm excited about this game. It's a little too early to call it a good game, but it has the potential to be really fun. The mechanics in that were interesting. It just depends how like unpolished it ends up being or not. Yeah, CK3 was the most complete Eve or Paradox game in a long time to release, but I didn't play enough of it really to judge it particularly. Amazing Cultivation Simulator. I have not. You guys are always welcome to suggest games to me, but the place to do that is not actually in my Twitch chat, believe it or not. The place to do that is on my Discord. We have a channel specifically for that. The channel is moderated, so my community manager goes through and looks at that channel, and then stuff that gets suggested there goes to an evaluation. So this website that has all the games I've played and my ratings on them, and then also has the games that have been suggested and the games that make it up to be played on stream. All of that process starts with that Discord channel. So if you guys suggest games in that Discord channel, there's no guarantee that game will make it to my stream, but is guaranteed that we'll evaluate it on a couple different levels to see if it will get it to that stream, to the stream. Suggested it already. It may basically have been rated low enough that we didn't want it, that I looked at it, didn't look like fun for me. The Ministry of Review looked at it and it didn't look like fun for them, so we didn't make it. So it's quite possible that if you did suggest it, that's quite possible it happened. Empire of Sin was a huge letdown. Gear Tactics was a huge letdown. I don't remember Fort Triumph. I didn't like Among Us that much. It was okay, but it just really wasn't my type of game. Grifflins was fun, but it didn't hold my interest super long. We did the promotional stuff for Grifflins. That was pretty fun. I enjoyed that promotion, but I didn't end up playing it outside of that. Wasteland 3 was a bit of a disappointment. Last Spell we haven't really played enough of, but we are checking around with it right now. Gloomhaven was fun, but I don't know if I'd play a lot of it. I think if the multiplayer really supported playing that with friends and I had friends who were interested, maybe that game could be fun for me. Some of these are just promoted games too, right? Like Vikings and As Far As the Eye, I only ever played those during promotions. Iron Danger, Fantasy General, Baba Is You, Iron Harvest. These were all games that were okay. Phoenix Point, Star Sector, Tainted Grail. We've done more games than this. We'll have to check the other list as well. We'll just start here. Tainted Grail, A Long Way Down, Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, FTL, and then Dungeon of Nahelbuk. We played all of these. Oh, is there a page 2 here? There is. Nice. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I knew we did more than fucking 50 games. All right. Mountain Blade, that was kind of like... We never did go back to this. Did this ever get better? Like, I didn't like it on release. Phoenix Point ever improved? No. Gear Tactics not on the list? I just moused over it. We went through Gear Tactics. I didn't like it. Broken Lions, Attack of the Earthlings, Desperados, Dreadlands. One Step from Eden, Banners of Ruin, Thronebreaker, Alder, Surviving the Aftermath, Untitled Goose Game, and Raiders of the Broken Planet. So what else did we hit this year rather? I don't think I can sort when I'm on incognito mode on this one. The multiplayer does work for Gloomhaven. Nice. Jesus, am I gonna have trouble populating a top 10 list? That feels bad. That would explain some of the playtime. Well, I guess I could also do this through Steam. Let's take a look at my Steam list real quick. Because I played a shit ton of these through Steam. Bandit Ship, Age of Wonders, Planetfall, Alder's Blood, Among Us. Looking for ones that we played this year. Chat, am I forgetting any big ones we played this year? Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2 wasn't this year, right? That was last year. Crusader Kings 3 was quite fun. That might make the cut. I didn't play a lot of it, so it's hard for me to like recommend it, but I had a lot of fun with the time I did play. And I played more than like 5 hours. I played maybe like 20 hours or something. We did do Darkest Dungeon PvP. I don't know if that counts. That was this year. Legends of Keeper was fairly fun. Legend of Keepers. It's such a weird pluralization in that one. Some games on here that weren't on there. Gordian Quest, Golem Gates. Danger. Sorry, you guys can't see this. I'll try to be quick through this. We played Other Side. Kingmaker, I don't think we retouched that this game. Had fun with Retropolis. That was this year. I think I was being too discerning in the first pass. What else? How'd I like Thea 2? Not that much. I didn't get super into it. Urtuk's already on there. Hades, Urtuk, and Ring of Pain this year, for sure. Hey, Eagle Forehead. Yeah, had fun with Civ 5. No plans on playing it again anytime soon, but all right. Looking through the rest of these, CK2. I'm just trying to see if any of these were this year that didn't show up. These lists are all of them inconclusive, right? To the Breach was definitely not this year. We did play Team Fight. Yeah, I don't think I'm going back to Retropolis. I enjoy the game a lot, but I don't like that they use player clicks as one of their ways to advance the game. I found it like destroyed my fucking wrists and like all the repetitive injury shit that I deal with when I stream too much or when I play too many games like that get triggered in that game. Let's see. Man, I mean, I guess like 65 games is pretty good for a streamer in a year, but I felt like I did more than that. Trying to see if was Warsaw this year? No, last year, October of last year. Look at this with Tom with his fucking excellent inputting of this stuff. Has the dates and everything. What a boss. Wish I could sort this by Dreadlands, Mountain Blade. I wish I could sort in general. Legend of Keepers, Alder's Blood. Yeah, that might make top 10 actually. The Legend of Keepers. I had a lot of fun with that game. All right. Okay. Two other games is impressive. Variety streaming is a scam. If you have friends who are starting streaming or you're starting streaming, don't let them variety stream. It's an absolute scam for building your channel. Like it just doesn't work. All right. Looking through this. So what is this then for our 10 here? Battle Brothers, Battletech, Urtek. I guess that's Urtuk, Battletech. Hades, Solasta, Baldur's Gate 3, Democracy 4, Phantom Brigade. And then we have, so those 8 are pretty clear. Then we have to figure out the other ones. Crowfall, pretty high up there for me. Cyberpunk. I don't know that I can say, I don't think I want to endorse a game by saying it's good till you figure out what's happening in it, then it's bad. I think that's not how I want to endorse a game. Ring of Pain maybe up there. That was pretty nice. So Crowfall is a maybe. Ring of Pain is a maybe. Mechanicus was pretty fun, but maybe still a maybe. Legend of Keepers is probably higher than those, the ones I just listed out. So it's probably Retropolis, honestly. Curse of the Dead Gods? No. I don't think it was top 10. Did I like Democracy that much? I did. That game needs some love. Like specifically, it needs some replayability and it needs some it needs a bit more information displayed to the player, and the interface needs work a little bit. But the game itself is really different, really fun, and had a really I enjoyed the feeling of it. I wish it wasn't quite as ideologically one-dimensional. But I don't know if we're gonna get away from that ever. And I guess some of my enjoyment of that is intact because I don't know how much of its cause and effect is based on reality versus based on the subjective desires of the game maker. I wouldn't pick up Cyberpunk personally. I would give it some patch time for that. So, all right, I've got 8 here. So the next question is I guess the short list then is Crowfall, Ring of Pain, Mechanicus, Legend of Keepers, Retropolis, and CK3. Of those, I don't think Mechanicus makes that cut. I'm not ready to endorse Crowfall until I see what the final product is like. I was playing pre-alpha. I like the game, but they've changed it a lot since I played it last. It's tough to say. Huh. Those 4 are hard, though. No Rotech? It's number 2, dude. These are just these are slot... We're debating which of these 4 makes slot 9 and slot 10. Sure. I mean, I could... You guys want to vote? I mean, sure. I can let you guys vote. It's not going to make any difference as to what I end up selecting, I don't think. But if you guys want to vote, you can vote. Sure, I'll fire up a vote. So what do you guys want? You want me to list the ones I'm already picking and then plug in the last 4? Star Renegades did not make my top 10. You seemed instinctively ready to have LOK at 8. Yeah, we're not far. Can I show you the list again? Sure. All right, let me fire up the Twitch poll. Okay. Oh, fucking thing. All right. It's gonna be a long ass one to put in there. I need a better way to do this. I guess I just have you guys vote on the remain or think about the final four. Okay. And maybe I'm a little bit, maybe I guess I only have 7 and I'm a little bit unsure about the last 3. All right, fine. Fine. You guys can vote on 3. I'll let you guys do multiple votes. Vote for as many as you like. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone's vote's worth the same here. I'm not promising on doing anything with your votes, but I'm kind of curious what you guys think too. Ring of Pain. Phantom Brigade. Legend of Keepers. Retropolis. And CK3. Is that it? I think it was. All right. Move that poll around again and then let it go. Okay. See you, One Heart, One Mind. Thanks for the help, man. I'll consider more rogue tech at some point. Have a good day, dude. Appreciate the help. All right, I'm gonna let you guys vote on this. I'll be back in just a second, and then I'll figure out if we're gonna actually do some gameplay here in a minute or not. All right, chat. What do we have? What do you guys come up with? You guys like CK3 a lot, huh? But is this just like, I mean, the number of votes in here is like totally meaninglessly small. Is this just like, do you guys just vote for games you played? Can I remind you what the top 7 are? Battle Brothers, Battletech, Urtuk, Hades, Solasta, Baldur's Gate 3, and Democracy 4. It's a strange time to throw in the word simp. I don't know why you would throw that in right there, but congratulations, you've managed it. Let's see, I did finish Cyberpunk. I rated Retropolis at 1.5 and Gears Tactics 2 in my final score. But that's what I'm thinking. I don't think the final score is very up to date. I think like certain things I don't even remember rating. Like I certainly did not rate Gears Tactics a 2 after playing it. It might have been a 2 as it predicted, but after playing it, something else. So I don't quite know where that number's generated from. So GT doesn't make the list. What's GT here? Gear Tactics? No, Gear Tactics does not make the list. Yeah. What route did I take? I don't know how to define what route I took. I started as Street Kids. What did I think of the game? The pros of that game, like the positives, are it has a lot of systems in the game. And it's basically a visually presented novel to some degree, right? Like there's a pretty tight maybe the wrong word. There's a pretty fun to listen to story with a number of different characters, a couple twists and turns, etc., right? Those are its good points. Its bad points are it was a game without nothing you did in that game matters whatsoever. You can sometimes generate slightly different like dialogue options sometimes by what you've done, but you can't morally shape a character or build a character with a set of morals in mind. Your character development choices don't matter. Your weapon choices don't matter. The type of combat, stealth versus overt, doesn't matter. There's no faction building, so repeatedly attacking one faction doesn't lower your rating with them. They're still happy to give you missions, etc. Once I realized all that shit, the game became a drag for me to finish. So anyways, all right. Am I remembering Gear Tactics as shittier than it was? I don't think so. I think I remember Gear Tactics as shitty as it was. I think I did not enjoy that game. Felt like watered down XCOM. Maybe I'm remembering it more poorly than I thought in the time, but I don't remember being excited. I remember being disappointed with its release and not wanting to go back to it after I finished streaming it. So for a little bit. All right, chat. I destroyed that game and made fun of it. I feel like turn-based tactic games have to have turn-based tactics that matter in there. I don't remember it having turn-based tactics that mattered. Wasn't it another one of these ones where... Anyways, I don't want to get into it right now. It's certainly not making my top 10 list. If it's literally a subjective personal top 10, it ain't gonna make it. Alright.
A renewal. Welcome back.
Thank you, Yaroslav. What are we backslashing at? But thanks for subbing, man. Thought Legends of Keepers was good. Yeah, it got repetitive, right? But I also agree it's probably top 10 of this year, but like not top 5. This is gonna be the fun part of this, I guess, is trying to figure that out. We could do that on stream. Do you want me to try to figure out my actual rating on stream and then call it a day? I'm pretty close to calling it a day here. I got some things to do before I leave for tomorrow, kind of deal. I'm not as much. I was actually looking forward to playing this game this morning, but 3 hours of tech support kind of derailed my like gaming impulse. I'm kind of on the talking train right now. All right, so we need to open up another spreadsheet, don't we? God, I love spreadsheets. This whole today has been a series of spreadsheets, hasn't it? That's good. That's good. All right. I don't know. Does it give away too much? I'm at the end of this. I'm gonna end up not making a review video. I'm just gonna end up letting my editor take my VOD of doing this at this rate. Kind of would like to do a full recap of the top 10. I don't know. I don't know if I'll find time before the end of the new year either, though. So, let's see. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for a new spreadsheet. Hooray! I'm gonna drag it over here. I'm gonna leave the game in the background for shits and giggles. Apparently, I guess I can move it over here so it doesn't block. It's gonna block anyways. All right. All right. And then we're gonna target Chrome at Untitled Spreadsheet. Hey, and then fire that up, and then move that over. And then, yeah. My top 3 match time played, probably, and I doubt that's coincidental. So, what was this one called, chat? The Battle Brothers DLC? Southern something. Southern Deserts, Blazing Deserts, Blazing Desserts. Okay. All right. That's down. This is not rated yet. I'm just getting these up here on a list, right? Battle Tech, Rogue Tech mod. Okay. Urtuk, the Desolation. Hades. Solasta. Baldur's Gate 3. I guess this is Solasta. What is is there more of the title of Solasta? There surely is. It was it not Blazing? I thought it was Blazing Deserts. Was it something else? What's the other part of Solasta? Crown of the Magister. I mean, do I want to put things like early access in these? I mean, this is still, is this beta now? I think maybe I'll just mention it. I don't know. It's going to be hard to compare this stuff. Tried CBD stuff. CBD doesn't do a lot for me. I don't really notice it. So, yeah, I've tried it. Baldur's Gate 3. Okay. This is either beta or early access. This was either beta or early access. I feel like every gaming company just does this though, right? This was early access when we played it. It's now released. BattleTech was in development. Oh my god. Thank you. This was released. Yeah. Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the first 7. And then
Quitters never
need to
win.
decide about these. Ring of Pain, which is in early access. Rostifer, thanks for the sub, man. Maybe I do honorable mentions, I'm not sure. Legend of Keepers, I think is full release now. Crusader Kings 3. Oops. Okay. Retropolis. Is Retropolis released yet? Retropolis, Legend of Keepers. Okay. It's released on the 22nd. I see. Nice. I guess I almost have to look at these as like time played for me. Time played does correspond quite a bit to my enjoyment because I generally play games for longer when I'm having fun with them, right? I imagine you guys have a totally different pattern. I assume most of chat just plays games out of some obligation. They hate the game, but they mostly play it that way. I don't want to do Ring of Pain dirty like this. Is Ring of Pain my 11th? Oh, we're only... there was one more. What was the one I'm... oh, Phantom Brigade. That was definitely early access. So the question is, how do we... oh, Legend of Keepers still early access? Are you sure it doesn't have like 5 fucking heroes out yet? Oh, it's early access? I thought it was release. Maybe I don't do a top 10. Maybe I do a top 7 with 5 honorable mentions. How gacha games work? Yeah, I know it's really hard. It's really hard to put these in perspective because none of these games are like, there's like one of these games is release. All of the rest of these games are either early access or in development. And some of them I stopped for various reasons, right? Like I stopped playing Celeste because I liked it so much I don't want to burn myself out on it. Same with Baldur's Gate 3, which is I like the core game enough that I'm excited about it and I don't want to burn myself out during the early access development cycle when they're still ironing out bugs in gameplay. Maybe it's my top 12 or my top 7 and 5 other ones. Can I order, I guess, can I order them, any of these? Do top 7 and honorable mentions? I could, yep. Doesn't have to be a top 10. Top 10, people like clicking on top 10s more than they like clicking on top 7s though, just FYI. I mean, if I had to break these down, I mean, I could also do like, it's so weird to compare these because like that's a full game. That's not even a full game. It's a huge content. It's a huge increase in content for an existing established full game where the full game itself is great and the new content they added is great. This is a total overhaul mod, not a game at all, of a older game that was decent but not great. But the overhaul mod is fucking great, although it had its problems. This is an in development, totally new, early access, like single developer game that had like better than Battle Brothers combat with slightly worse strategic layer, but overall was incredibly great and had 1 billion hours of replayability. This was totally different genre than I normally play. Super fun, really high polish, just a great game. This has the potential to be a great game, but is currently only an okay game. Super short because it's early access. This was fairly polished, has the potential to be a great game by a studio who I haven't liked their previous products. Super early access, a ton of money behind it, but who knows where they'll actually go with it. Democracy 4 was a tiny game with almost no replayability, but concept-wise was really unique from my perspective. It's essentially a super interactive spreadsheet. I really liked it. I don't think I could play it more than what I basically played it though, unless they changed up a lot of stuff. And I'm really worried about the ideology driving it because I think the gameplay suffers a little bit from the ideology of the game devs, and I don't know what that's based on. Ring of Pain had limited content but was great. Legend of Keepers was totally unique. Pretty great too, honestly. I think that has to get up in there. So I don't know like these, it's so weird to compare these, but if I have to make a list, maybe it's things like games I enjoyed playing. So maybe what I end up doing is talk about how much I enjoyed playing them this year, and then kind of talk about the caveats, where they're at, etc. I've tried Stellaris so many fucking times though, man. Like at what point do you give up on a game? Like how many times do I have to go back to a game before it gets permanently ruled out? You know, and at what point, like how deep do I have to play each time I go back to a game? I feel like I'm getting like cry wolfed here a little bit, right? Like, you know, in the sense of if I keep going, if I go back once, I'm like, okay, I tried it once, not very good. All right, big updates, totally changed it. Developers paid attention to the community's feedback. Okay, go back, still pretty shit. Well, at that point, I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. Then like round 3, I think we're already on round 3 or 4 of Stellaris. I played that game at least 3 separate occasions. Like not 3 separate days, 3 separate like streaming blocks, right? The Darkest Dungeon PvP is an honorable mention? Maybe. The things I can say about Darkest Dungeon PvP was it was so much better done than I thought it was going to be as a like an expansion kind of deal. Like it was a totally different game. I didn't love it, and it had a very finite shelf life, and some strategies seemed overpowered compared to others, but it was so well done. I mean, that's again, that company has done exactly that, right? Created a product out of nowhere that's like totally different and very, very highly produced. You have 65 hours of colonization, you still regret it every time you pick it up. Yeah, I don't want to be in that position. All right. So this is a good starting point. This would be good. This will get you guys clicking on that video when I release that video, because I haven't decided about this. But these are some of them. This will give the people on stream a little spoiler for the types of games that Filthy found really sweet this year. And then when I actually do make this video, I'll talk a little bit more about it. Add some gameplay footage to it probably, and go from there. I was looking at like a top 10 or top 15 or top 5 or something of the games I played this year. I think we played 65 games this year is what I'm getting from the other stuff. You won't believe number 4 is exactly what I'd say to begin with. All right, chat. I think this is gonna do it for me today. I don't know how we didn't actually manage to get any gameplay of this, but we didn't. We did a couple hours of audio tech support, a couple hours of chit chat, a little bit of rankings of things, and there we go. Monster Train not better than Retropolis. This isn't a list of what's better. This is a list of how much I enjoyed each of them, and I didn't enjoy Monster Train as much as I enjoyed Retropolis. So all right, here's how this works, chat. For the next couple days, I am traveling. I'm traveling Monday, Tuesday for sure. Wednesday, I don't think I'll be ready to stream on Wednesday, but it is possible. I would expect a Thursday stream again. I would also expect slightly shorter streams in the next week or two. I'm down visiting my parents with family around during the Christmas time, the Christmas holiday, this holiday season, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know what my time, how much space and time I'm going to get to do some streaming. I'm going to be doing some of it, but I don't know like if I'm going to be able to realistically be like, oh, I'm going to stream 10 hours today. My family's like, why are you here? And I'm like, because you insisted that I come down, but I still have a job and a life to do. So, but if I don't see you in a couple of days, stay safe, have fun. Looking forward to figuring out what we're going to be doing on the way back. Kind of enjoyed today. Appreciate you guys helping me with tech support this morning. And see you guys soon. Have a good one. Why does Filthy Love not work for me? Right. Well, I guess.